I'm now to Scarborough, Ontario's Education Minister Stephen Lecce and Finance Minister Bethlen Falvey are making an announcement. Let's listen.
More affordable, to attract jobs and investment in our province, and to build the next generation of leaders, of thinkers, of entrepreneurs in this province and country. And to do that, we're going to ensure that students have the access to the skills they need that leads them to a good paying job. We know that to build this province, a $160 billion infrastructure plan, we need talented people. And our mission in this province is to ensure the next generation of workers is highly skilled, is financially literate, technologically savvy, and ready for the jobs of tomorrow. Which leads me to today's announcement that I'm very proud to confirm that we're going to be expanding the dual credit program in this province, which will provide more opportunities for students for both apprenticeship and technological education programs. And so today, Peter, David, Patrice, and I, on behalf of our Premier, Doug Ford, are pleased to announce a $4.8 million investment to provide an additional 1,800 students entering apprenticeship training and technical education courses. In addition, we're adding opportunities for another 420 students in the early childhood education-related courses. Together, this represents 2,200 more students in dual credits over the next 2 years. And we believe it is absolutely critical we do this because we need more people, more young people, to fulfill the promising careers within the skilled trades. It's why we're demonstrating through this investment in the dual credit program. A trade certificate, as we know, has every bit of value as a degree. This nearly $5 million increased investment will also help us address an expected skill shortage of critical workers across the economy. With Ontario's dual credit program, students benefit from the supervision and support of a college instructor and the dual credit teacher at their school. And now we're allowing non-college training delivery, such as trade unions, to also provide their support and expertise. That's effective, hands-on learning, real experience in real time. And what that means is Ontario students can now get credits towards both their secondary diplomas and a post-secondary certificate, diploma, degree, or certification of apprenticeship through this program. And that's why it's part of the broader vision for the plan to catch up. We are really committed to keeping kids in school, but also ensuring students bridge the learning gaps that may have emerged over the disruption, ensuring that they have access to the tools, the investment, and the people to gain those critical life and job skills. We're emphasizing STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and math, and the skilled trades. And we're teaching students a brand new state-of-the-art math and science curriculum, which now includes mandatory learning on budgeting, credit, financial literacy, coding, and other real-life applications that I know are an area of mutual priority for Peter as well. And so to better support parents, we announced an investment of a plan to catch up, $200 per child, $250 per child with special education needs, also known as Ontario's catch-up payments. And I want to encourage families to continue to sign up today online so they can get access to this $365 million investment, because we recognize there's challenges in the economy and the cost of living. We want to make life a bit easier for you, Ontario parents. And it's all because our government, led by our Premier and supported by our entire team, understands the importance of building and investing and providing the skills necessary so that when young people graduate in this province, they do so with a competitive advantage that leads them to a good paying job. We know expanding the dual credit program is another step forward in this direction, ensuring that Ontario's best days remain ahead. And so now I'd like to welcome a great champion of the skilled trades, Ontario's Minister of Finance, Peter Bethlen Falvey.
Well, thank you, Stephen, and I really liked it when you mentioned budgeting in the curriculum, so thank you for that. Really rang out. I want to thank Craig for hosting us here today. What a great school you run here, great college. I want to acknowledge Alan, who took Minister Lecce through his routine here. And Alan, I'm going to be on best behavior because I just found out you're a constituent of mine up in Uxbridge. I'm always on good behavior, but extra special good behavior today. And I want to acknowledge my great friend in Ajax, Patrice Barnes, and Dave Smith here in Scarborough Centre as well. And it's really an honor and a privilege to be here with you. As you know, last week I did table the 2022 Fall Economic Statement and an update on Ontario's plan to build. We highlighted our plan to build Ontario's economy by attracting investments and good-paying jobs, building Ontario's workforce by training and educating students and workers to succeed not only today, but for tomorrow, and to build infrastructure in Ontario by getting shovels in the ground on critical projects across the province. We're not far from Diggy Stardust here, and I'm sure some of you may know what the heck's Diggy Stardust, may not know. Let me tell you, it's the big boring tunneling machine that's going to build and bore the tunnel here to Scarborough. After 50 years of talking about it, Diggy Stardust is going to get it done. We're also helping keep costs for families and for businesses down in Ontario. We're advancing our plan as well for targeted new measures to rebuild the economy, address the labor shortages, and as I said, keep costs down. Nous présentons aussi notre plan pour mettre en œuvre de nouvelles mesures ciblées dans le but de reconstruire l'économie, combler les actuelles pénuries de main-d'œuvre dans la province et garder les coûts bas. This includes strengthening our skilled trades and apprenticeship system, which plays a critical role in building Ontario's economy. As Minister Lecce announced earlier, our government is expanding the very successful dual credit program. By expanding this program, our government is creating direct pathways for high school students who are potentially seeking a career in the trades or early childhood education. And we saw many of them at work in class as we walked here. Because with an ever-changing workforce, there is a growing need for skilled trade workers to be ready to build Ontario. Our government has also had the honour to stand with Monty McNaughton, our Minister of Labour, last week to announce an additional $40 million for the latest round of the Skills Development Fund. This brings total funding for the next round to $145 million. And let me say, at that press conference last Thursday, I met a woman named Courtney. And Courtney was a bartender. And then COVID hit. And of course, bars got shut down, so she didn't have a job. And she stood with us because through the Skills Development Fund, she became a steam pipe fitter and couldn't be happier. Good paying job, big paycheck, and something she was very passionate about. We need all hands on deck to help build Ontario. We are also increasing the amount a person on the Ontario Disability Support Program can earn from $200 to $1,000 per month without impacting their income support. This measure would encourage people with a disability who want to increase their work hours to do so and promote more participation in the workforce while not penalizing them for doing so. And going forward, we plan to adjust ODSP rates to inflation beginning in July of 2023. Our enhanced targeted approach also includes proposing to extend the gas tax and fuel tax relief to December 31st, 2023. As well, we're supporting low-income seniors by proposing to double payments for all senior recipients of the Ontario Guaranteed Annual Income System for 2023, some 200,000 low-income seniors at a time of high costs where many are feeling the pinch through inflation. Now, we are in uncertain global economic times, and there are challenges ahead. And we know that the people of Ontario are feeling the effects of these challenges. And that is why our government has a responsible fiscal plan that will help us navigate these difficult times. And no matter what lies ahead, and I've said this before, I have confidence in the resilience of the people, the workers, the students, the families across Ontario. I have confidence in our plan, so collectively, together, let's continue to build Ontario. And with that, I'll say thank you and pass it back to Minister Lecce.
All right, a live announcement from the Ontario government, Ministers Bethlen Falvey and Lecce. Ontario prepping more students for skilled trades careers. They're going to invest close to $5 million to expand the dual credit program to help prepare an extra 2,200 or so students to earn college credits and apprenticeship training while still in high school. Actually, we're going to go back there and dip into the question and answer period.
Tentative deal, which members start voting on today. What is your message to them as they start voting?
A message of gratitude. Our education workers play a critical role in our schools. I think many of us could name the custodians, the secretaries, the individuals in our lives that as young people cared for us and really went above and beyond. So I want to thank them for what they do to support our kids, recognizing that we've come to a fair agreement. I'm going to respect the ratification process, but reaffirm how important it is that we came together to keep kids in school. That stability is not an abstraction to a parent at home, to a young child who's been through so much and faced so much disruption and difficulty over the past years. Kids in school means they can learn, they get access to mental health supports, physical activity, social and emotional development. They get access to special education supports for some of the most vulnerable among us, nutrition programs. I mean, honestly, these are, in many cases, it's just the basics of health, food, care, and that's what we do in our schools and much, much more. So I'm just grateful that we came together in the interests of our kids and put them first, and now we have a deal before us, a tentative agreement that I look forward to its ratification, especially recognizing that it'll enable the government to continue to provide stability for kids and continue the good work we're doing in partnership with Minister Stephen and the entire government to increase funding and staffing and opportunities for our kids within our publicly funded schools.
And how do you think the negotiations with teachers will go following QP? And will the 1.8%, sort of the top wage increase for the top earners in QP, will that be the benchmark for teachers?
Well, we look forward to continue to negotiate in good faith with our teacher unions. As you know, 3 years ago, this government got deals with every education union in the province of Ontario. We intend to do the same in this round. We've had productive discussions with our teacher unions through the summer and notably through the fall. The mission of the government is a deal that respects the workers, but most importantly, keeps kids in the classroom. And I look forward to having those discussions at the table and respecting the teacher union's preference for confidential negotiating. But I think you could be assured that the government will continue to make the case that kids must be in school and that they need to benefit from the full spectrum of supports that happen within our publicly funded school system.
Good morning, Minister. It's Craig Wadman with CTV News. About 10 days ago, Dr. Moore had suggested that children wear masks inside and people wear masks in general inside. Should children and teachers and support workers be wearing masks inside schools?
Well, Dr. Moore noted that the province's position is to respect the choices parents will make and staff will make because it's based on individual risk tolerance. What I can tell you is while we respect the decision individuals will make in this province when indoors, we're also going to reaffirm to parents that this province and government has invested heavily in improving air ventilation in every single school in the province. In every single school, like 4,800 no less, we have inspected and improved the ventilation systems. 100,000 HEPA units are in schools. We have a standard that is doesn't exist in the nation, where if a school does not have mechanical ventilation and a MERV 13 filter, the highest filtration standard you can buy, then we now have a HEPA filter in the classroom, in the gymnasium, in the cafeteria, in the library, in the learning space. That's a standard that I think should give confidence that we've invested heavily to reduce the risk within our school settings. And we're going to continue to do that with the rapid test access for children and staff who are symptomatic. Likewise, with the enhancement of our cleaning within our schools, the additional custodians, and of course screening that takes place. So the school system has multiple layers of prevention endorsed by the Chief Medical Officer of Health, and we will reaffirm to the families and parents and staff within our schools and the parents of this province that we'll continue to do everything possible to keep our schools as safe as we can.
Paul with CBC. The Hamilton Wentworth District School Board on Monday, the Board of Trustees approved the following motion to ask all students and staff to wear a mask in all facilities until further direction. Do you think it's a good move to have school boards have to enforce these kind of recommendations?
I think public health units have been provided the authority to consider additional measures if required. and we'll always defer to doctors, not politicians, to make decisions with respect to the safety of families as we deal with the triple threat of RSV, flu, and COVID.
And do you think that it's about time that the government just say, look, for all school settings, especially with smaller children, please mask up and stop this? It's in your best interest and everything else, because numbers are going up, hospitals are flooded, surgeries are canceled. We're going into that tailspin again.
We're going to respect the choices of parents, and I think that is really critical. We followed the advice of Dr. Moore, and he's made clear a strong recommendation encouraging masking. The government is committed to keeping kids in school in a safe setting. It's why we've massively improved ventilation in this province. It's why we've significantly scaled up the HEPA filtration, 100,000 in Ontario. There are more HEPA filters in this province than there are in the entire country combined when it comes to publicly funded schools. That's leadership. It's a recognition that we have to continuously do more to reduce the risk. And that's exactly why, in partnership with the Minister of Finance, the Premier, the Minister of Health, we've done that. And we can be assured that our schools have the safety, the investments, the layers of prevention, and we'll continue to seek guidance from the Chief Medical Officer of Health on the way forward as we contend with the challenges of the winter.
Thank you, Minister. I just want to do one last call for questions from the floor. And seeing none, I think we can wrap things up today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.